the idea that I had in mind for my podcast episode today on the 27th, my 27th episode, is to talk about my birthday, right? My birthday is a very interesting thing because it's right next to Halloween. So it's always kind of been overshadowed in a way, but I've also used Halloween to make my birthday even more fun. Another thing that's really interesting about it is that it's also the same month that my mother passed away. And the reason that I want to talk about this today is because I want to bring forward some really cool ideas that came to me during this that I think that I could help other people by sharing these ideas. If you're still somebody who has their mother alive, or even if you've lost them already, maybe this might help you gain some clarity on what it is to have a birthday. For a long time, my birthday was, like most people, it's about them. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Well, there's another thing that's involved in a birthday, and that's the mother. And that's the thing that we often forget. And now the reason I'm bringing this up is because, my mother passed in 2016 on October 13th. And 2.5 weeks later, it's my birthday. And on that birthday, one of my friends got me a sensory deprivation tank coupon. So I went and laid in this thing, and I just decided to go on my birthday. I was like, I'm going to do it on my birthday. So I went to this place, and it was really calming. They did have me do a little meditation before I went in. And then I laid down in this, it's this really salty water, and you just float in this dark, capsule. There's no sound. There's no vision. You can't see anything. You can't hear anything. You're floating, so you feel weightless. You don't feel anything on your body. You feel wet, kind of. But anyways, after about 15 minutes of kind of fidgeting and getting into it, I started to have these pretty interesting visuals. I have a fairly imaginative mind, and in my mind, I can see things fairly well. And that's probably something that you guys can do too as artists. Some people don't have it, but some people do. Even if you're an artist and you can't see well in your imagination, that's fine. But in this space where you can't hear and you can't see, your mind's eye really gets to get strengthened. So I allowed my mind to just go where it was going, and I entered this meditation in the sensory deprivation tank. And since imagine, 2.5 weeks before I was with my mom as she passed, and then a couple days later I buried her, and then now I'm back home and I'm trying to get back to real life, and I'm the mourning process is obviously still going on, and I'm in this tank, and obviously the first thing that starts coming to mind is my mom, and on my birthday, right? So there are these photos that I had seen throughout my whole life of the day that I was born, right? Maybe you have pictures of yourself when you were a baby, maybe in the hospital, right? Your mom has a picture of you and it's like, oh yeah, that was me as a baby. You don't have a memory of it, but for some reason in your mind, you have a memory of it because of the photos and the things that you see. Maybe there's a video even. And so your brain kind of constructs this memory of the event as if you were in the position in first person, but in your mind, it's kind of third person. So I started to see these visions, and these visions were of my mother on my birthday giving birth to me. And for about 45 minutes this happened. I saw myself being born. I saw my mother holding me for the first time and looking down at me and being so overjoyed and thrilled and happy. The photos that I've seen of her in the hospital when I was a baby, just born, she was always smiling. She was always very happy. So, and the love that she had for all of her kids was unimaginable. And it was just the purest and kindest and most unconditional love that anybody could ever express. So I had these visions of seeing my mother see me for the first time, and the love that she expressed and experienced in that moment, I felt it in that tank for the first time. It was a strange sensory deprivation tank hallucinatory experience. Now, mind you, I'll tell you right now, I was not under any influence of any drugs or anything. This was just purely in the tank with my strong imagination, having just experienced a very, powerful event, having lost my mother. Now, this went on, and of course, during, in the tank, I'm probably at this point crying. I'm not really sure if I'm tearing up or not, because you're in this water up to your face is just floating. And so I see my mother for the first time holding me, looking at me with this joy, and I realize that my birthday isn't about me. My birthday isn't about, there's such the birthday is such a me thing. Give me gifts. Come celebrate me. Come celebrate. I didn't do anything to be born. I did nothing. I did zero. All I did was slide out, right? And my mother labored for hours and hours and hours. She held me in her body for 9 months, right? She went through all of that to give me life, so that I could be here expressing myself today. Now, the connection that I got to the love that a mother can give, and the experience of what motherhood is, and the experience of what a birthday is, ever since that day, ever since my birthday in 2016, my birthday has been different ever since, because I don't celebrate myself as much. On the day of my birthday, I really just give thanks and gratitude towards my mother for doing the things that she did to make me come to life. And also the next 18 years up to my adulthood, but then also up until the moment when she was gone. She was encouraging. She was unconditionally loving and unconditionally supportive. If I wanted to be an artist, she was supportive. She wasn't one of those mothers who said, "You're not going to make a career out of that." She with all of her kids too, she was always there, kind of pushing us forward, making sure we were safe. She was kind of a worrywart in some ways. But the main thing here that I want to kind of push during this podcast episode is to explain that, maybe next time when it's your birthday or it's your friend's birthday, this is something that I do. When it's somebody that I know, and it's their birthday, I ask them, how's your mom doing? Have you talked to her today on your birthday? And it usually stirs something up, because it's really important to realize that your birthday it's a great day that you were born. And yes, okay, cool. Birthdays, the cake, it's just a cultural thing that we're like, it's all about me. But it's really, you should be showing so much gratitude towards the mother for this. So if you have your mom and she's in good standing with you, and you have a good relationship, and even if you don't, I'd say reach out to them and try to make the relationship better. A mother's love towards their child can not be explained by anything else. It can't be explained with words, with poetry, with anything. It's something that's outside the realm of language. So, take this story real quick. My mother's been gone for almost 9 years now, for over 9 years now. So, call her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her your dreams. Tell her your ambitions. Tell her what you want for your life. Tell her the truth. Be honest with her. Tell her how you're really doing. Tell her what your fears are. Tell her what, just talk to her. Ask her about her. One of the things that I did on the last week of my mother's life was ask her about some time before I was alive. Like what were things like? What did she do? Tell me a story about something that happened before I was alive, something that I would never know. And she would tell me. So maybe even ask your mom about, when she was 15 or 20, like what was life like? What did she do? What was her prom like? What was her high school like? Well, tell me a story about some drama that you went through, or tell me some celebratory thing that you went through, just ask them.